Hey everyone, welcome back to Afterthought FM. Today we're continuing the Alien franchise with Alien Resurrection. Spoilers ahead, you know the drill. You guys, this movie's weird. Deeply, very deeply weird. We kind of left the grounded industrial spooky horror completely behind and entered this full biohorror terrifying fever dream territory. Terrifying is not even the right word until the end, and we're gonna get there, but just follow along. So Alien 3, as we know, it ended with Ripley sacrificing herself to stop the alien, the cycle and everything, which was super important to her own autonomy and all that. And then Resurrection immediately flips it around and says, but the institution violated that too. So whose autonomy? We don't know her. She doesn't go here. So they cloned her from whatever blood and tissue they had left over before or whenever she fell in the molten lava, probably before, because molten lava or metal, I should say lava, listen to me, molten metal, I don't think that's leaving anything behind. So anyway, somehow, by the way, it recreated the queen that was in her. It instead of just having the DNA fused, which it is, she's basically a hybrid, but she just looks like Ripley. And she's crazy dangerous. It's so cool, and I love it. But also there was the queen in her. I don't know how they were gonna explain that away if they were to even try. Good thing they didn't, because they were just and so this is a thing that's happening, because just go with it. And we were okay. And so they remove it from her, and it's, as we remember from Alien 3, it was a queen or whatever. So it's gonna lay eggs, and it's gonna perpetuate the cycle again, because corporate greed, which is still a main theme of this. They didn't completely they didn't depart from that. I mean, the scientists are there, the military's there, Weyland-Yutani's there. It's basically it's everything. It's a culmination of all the movies up to this point thrown in there. And it's kind of cool. It does turn Ripley from a survivor into a hybrid. Speaking of hybrids, I mean, it's an extra level of character development for her. Now she's not just sort of trying to survive. Now she's okay, well, I'm new. What am I? Definitely a predator. She's got the predatory instincts. She's got heightened senses and crazy strength. And in the beginning they call her It. The military guy, I should say, calls her It, kind of to dehumanize or detach from her humanity. The scientists don't. They still call her Her. I mean, there's not that they're any better though, because the cloning process, when they get to the body horror of the lab, the clone lab, they cross some lines. Okay, they cross some lines there. But anyway, so they're still basically trying to rip her identity away from her, corporate nonsense. So it's a full scientific exploration horror instead of just being a labor and a corporate horror as well. So we added a layer of scientific terror, I guess, harvesting the queen, experimenting on these clones. And one of them, by the way, was alive, which was awful. They're just keeping her alive, hooked up to whatever the poor thing was hooked up to. And Ripley sets her on fire instead of doing it quick when she asked to be killed. I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, okay, I got ahead of myself. Circling back, we are introduced to this little pirate crew. They're morally gray. And it gives this movie kind of a chaotic, scrappy energy. It's kind of cool. There's smugglers or drifters instead of workers or Marines. They have very strong personalities. They're kind of cool. I love the addition of Winona Ryder being the synth. We're not supposed to know that. No one knows that in the movie yet. They hide that really well, so that was kind of cool. And the previous movies do seem to be about discovering this entity, this creature accidentally. Resurrection is like deliberate creation. They're like, no, we know what this is. We want this thing for our military operations. So the pirates sort of getting involved and in the mix of all that seems to be important because there's a line that kind of alludes to maybe they helped facilitate this, like, the discovery or them obtaining the creature. I don't really know. They don't explain it much. They were just like talking about it and like how it's all cashed under the table and, you know, on and on and on. The technology in this movie too is crazy. Like, the whiskey during their little business deal is like in cube form, and then there's like this laser to like melt it into, I don't know. It's weird. This movie is it's unhinged. It's a little crazy. So, okay. Anyway, back to deliberate creation. The scientists, in crossing lines here, they put unconscious hosts in front of the eggs, like fully strapped to the wall, and like, I don't know, it's like weaponizing their research in like it's so cruel. It's the most institutionally cruel way, and it's like normalized throughout this film. And it's crazy. Like, profit over morality continues throughout. I will say, as even though this movie's crazy, it is consistent. Okay, it is consistent. In this one, also the Queen and Ripley kind of become weird mirrors of each other. Like, they're both imprisoned. They're both biologically exploited. They're both altered, like, you know, like experimented on. It's like there's also like this huge containment illusion. Like, yeah, okay, you have them contained but for as long as they will allow it, you know? And I think that that's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I really think that that's kind of cool. But like the most unsettling part, I think, if you really think about it, is resurrection. Like, in this one, Ripley's no longer outside the hive. She's like part of the whole thing, like the xenomorph thing. Like, she falls into like a little cuddle pile of them. I don't like the way that I said that, but whatever. She falls into like a little pile of xenomorphs, and they just accept her, and she just sinks into. It's so weird and gross, and there's like goo. I don't know. They recognize her is the point. There's like a familiarity, like it's whatever. And if everything else I said isn't horrifying enough, like, for me, the clones were the worst part. The xenomorphs can swim now, you know? So that's incredible. They move like fucked up little sharks, and now the claustrophobia is not just like in the ship, in like a biomechanical ship. It's now underwater claustrophobia, and they've adapted, and now they can swim, and it's like, I don't know, it's survival horror at its greatest. It's incredible. Okay, so the scientist that survives for a while until he dies, thank God, because he's an asshole, his name is Ren, and he like kind of repeatedly sabotages the survival, I think because throughout the thing he still sees the xenomorphs as valuable. It's like an obsession type of situation instead of a survival instinct type of thing. So, like the scientist kind of collaborating with the horror, and it's, you know, like the whole monstrous human ambition thing. It's kind of fucked up a little bit. And then there's this guy, oh my God, speaking of Ren, there's this crazy guy they meet. Why, crazy's harsh, but he goes crazy later. He got infected or impregnated or whatever by the, with one of those embryos. So he's got one in his chest that's going to come bursting out. And right as it starts to come out, he like recognizes it immediately. And he attacks Ren and holds Ren in front of him and takes Ren down with him. I was like, that is insane. That is crazy. Although honorable. Look at you go. Mad respect. That was really cool. Like, that was a moment of like taking agency back, poetic justice, all the stuff Ripley was going through. That guy holds that little moment. Go him. Love that for him. Okay. The part that nobody wants to fucking talk about. The newborn. Oh my God. If you have seen Alien Resurrection, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This thing is unholy. I'm not even religious. It's the most upsetting creature I've ever seen in my life. I've seen a lot. It's fleshy and pink and weird and close to human, but also super not, and like super gangly and spindly and shaped gross. And it has the eyes, the crazy hollow beady no. It basically, like, you know, the human reproductive system evolution, I guess, because like it's a big point that Ripley, that was her gift to the queen, is a human reproductive system. So you get live births now, not just eggs. And so, yeah, the result of that is this hybrid horror, this uncanny valley situation. We have a cryptid. Interesting life cycle, possible interruption of the life cycle, because it turns around and it kills the queen and imprints on Ripley. So, like, I think that the cloning situation, or the message behind that, is that, like, you know, deeper, that life cycle has been corrupted through the cloning process. I respect the message. I think that, you know, we maybe need to think about that before we start fucking around with that. So rejects the queen, imprints on Ripley, super weird. It's like a human interference destabilizing the hive situation, which is cool. In retrospect, you know, when you think about it, you're like, well, the humans wanted it so bad, but we fuck everything up, really. So, hooray. Basically, if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, don't, maybe don't do that, because the way the newborn dies is its whole body and all of its organs and all of its goo gets sucked through a tiny hole on the ship in one of the nastiest deaths I've seen in this franchise. It is disgusting. So if you do see it, maybe skip that part, or maybe you like goo. I don't know. It's up to you. It's your story. You write it. It's just more body horror and, like, you know, but it does circle back to the theme of using space and environment as a weapon instead of a blast door or whatever, the airlock, that's what it's called. Instead of her using an airlock, this time it's just a little hole in a window, and it's as gross as it sounds. Anyway, okay. They do end up getting to Earth. It's a crash landing. It's a whole thing. And what's interesting is, after 4 movies of trauma, cloning, death, mutation, the whole 9 yards, Ripley ends the franchise feeling disconnected from humanity itself as a whole. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like, she's got this line about being a stranger on Earth. And I think that's kind of cool. Like, everyone she knew is gone. Is there centuries have passed. This movie takes place 200 years after she dies. She's not even fully human. So Earth can't feel like home. I'm framing this as it being cool. It's actually really sad and depressing, but I think I like the way she's looking at it. She's like, well, okay, well, fuck it, new beginning, right? And I like that. I think this one kind of became less about survival and more about identity corruption and, like, the scientific exploitation and all that. But I mean, that's kind of what happens when we lose our ethical boundaries around not just biology, but anything, right? That's sort of humanity's big fight. Anyway, okay. So, yeah, it's messy. It's bizarre. It's fucking weird. It is also fascinating, and it's, you know, in its campiness, it's stupid, but it's fascinating. It pushes the franchise into, like, this gothic territory. But it does a good job of asking what's left of Ripley's humanity, you know? I mean, she's like, what is left of her autonomy now? I mean, hopefully she regains it now she's on Earth, but we don't know how, like, much Weyland-Yutani controls, right? So, anyway, okay. All right, I'm wrapping this one up. That's enough. This was terrible. This was gross. It grossed me out. The window scene grossed me out. You guys let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think. This has been fun. I will see you in the next episode.